What's up, guys? We are live 2:01 Eastern, which means it's 11:01 on the West Coast. I'm your co-host, Chris Green from Scam Power, representing the Amazon side of the eBay versus Amazon equation. And give a warm welcome, chat room. I'm talking to you, to Jason T. Smith, the co-host from the West Coast. What's up, Jay?
West Coast is the best coast, yo.
Dude, I like that co-host from the West Coast. We gotta say that every time now.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like
I
that.
just made that up on the fly. How about that?
And I'm actually going to make reference to my hat today, my hat choice. This is a little shout out to my father. I don't know if he's watching today because they're actually leaving for vacation in less than 48 hours, so he might be packing. But Kalik is a beer from the Bahamas, and I had never had it, so I was hanging out in the Bahamas with my mom and dad. He's like, let's have some Kalik, and Kalik's a good beer. So if you ever see
Did you
Kalik,
find that thrifting?
oh, of course.
Okay. Okay.
Of course.
That would
So
be so fake
what's
if
up,
you bought
Dad?
that.
What's up, Dad?
All right, well, I got to go check on the chat room because I forget how that works.
Yeah, I gotta find. I have one open. I can't figure out where I put it.
I just bumped it in Scam Power if that's easier for you.
Well, no, I mean I have the chat. I have the YouTube window open somewhere on my screen, but I don't know where it went. So that's what I'm looking for.
They really should just put the chat in the video with us, make it easy.
Oh, there it is. I got it.
So it's all good. It's good stuff. It is January 11th, and clearly I'm representing the Scam Power shades, though it makes it kind of hard to see you guys. So I'll probably take them off. Because I think there's a huge opportunity to make custom sunglasses. Should we give like a real tutorial right here, guys? We're in political season right now. You want to sell some of these on eBay and Amazon? Get some Trump, get some Hillary Clinton. Hop on the memes, figure out what works. What are people buying in terms of Trump shirts and Hillary shirts and Trump stickers and Hillary stickers? And I mean, I guess it's kind of early to call it, but it kind of looks like it's gonna be Trump versus Hillary kind of thing. I'm guessing. And see what's already selling and say, hey, could I put that on sunglasses? And then go to logolenses.com and order 100 of these things for $2 a piece and sell them on eBay and Amazon for $12.99 and do it, right? You can get the aviators like Jason has. You can get the Wayfair style like this.
I like these because I got the camo, man. These are sweet.
Dude, I made those, dude.
I like
made
these.
those.
You
You
the
can
man,
do
bro.
camo. I mean, you can do anything you want. But you got to invest a little money, right? You got to spend $2 per pair of sunglasses. You have to be willing to buy 100 of them, not knowing if they're going to sell. But that's why you do your research ahead of time. You go and look at what's the sales rank of Donald Trump shirts on Amazon right now. How many completed listings are there for Hillary Clinton T-shirts right now? Bobbleheads, pens, any type of merchandise. See what's selling. What do people want? This is the world we live in. You don't have to have a storefront like you have to order from a catalog and hope the stuff you ordered that comes in, 3 months later, it's going to sell. We have completed history on eBay, and we have sales rank on Amazon. We know what sells, and then we can figure out if we're going to go get it and sell it, whether it's product research for private label or just completed listings. What is Toki Doki?
I I don't know. I saw that post. I mean, I think I recognize it a little bit, but I got
A
nothing
bunch
really.
of people jumped and said, dude, that's money. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't even know if I would have noticed it in the store, to be honest. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a post in Jason's Facebook group. You can find it by searching Facebook for the Thrifting Board. And someone posted a picture of a brand called Toki Doki, Tokidoki. And a bunch of people jumped on it saying, whoa, that is easy cash money. I don't know if it's like a purse or like a bag or something.
Well, and not only is it, they said easy cash, but it must be a big deal because people are saying make sure to pay attention. There's a lot of fakes. So not only are you and I out of the loop, it's such a big deal that people are faking it.
Which
You
is,
know,
I mean, I don't mind being out of the loop. I was talking with somebody today about, oh, no one likes to be wrong. Pfft, I love being wrong because if I'm wrong, that means that now I'm right, right? If I know I'm wrong, good. I can stop being wrong and be right. And I'm not looking back. I don't care that I was wrong. I am right now because now I know, the right way moving forward. And I don't care that I never heard of Tokidoki, because I heard of it now only because of your group and the members of your group. You don't get the credit, homie. Group gets the credit.
No. I take no credit. And I haven't had a chance. I haven't had a chance to read the whole thing this morning. But yeah, it was great to see that the group jumped right in to help and respond. But also, I was like, oh, I got to pay attention to this brand, because not only is it hot, it's already been copied. So when things have been copied, somebody saw. Thank you, sir. Somebody saw a way to make money by faking it, and that's not. Of course, we expect that on Coach and Louis Vuitton and stuff like Dooney and Burke. But man, for it to be on a brand that I'm like, wait, what? Who's that? What's that? Oh, I feel old all of a sudden.
It's tough. It's impossible to keep up, which is why these groups are so valuable. The Scan Power group from the Amazon side keeps you up to date with changes on Amazon, changes with FBA. If you just kind of skim through the threads once a day, you'll be up to date on policy changes, fee changes, restricted items, stuff like that, just by skimming the threads. You don't have to read everything. I almost recommend not reading everything, but just keep up to date. And then if you're on the eBay thrifting side, you're going to find new things to look for, new things to watch out for. Like I would have known it would be fake. I'm not even thinking fake. I'm thinking, what is it? Can I sell it and make some money? And everybody reminds you, be careful. Those do get faked. Like, oh, okay, I hadn't thought of that. Cool, thank you. And it's all just free information being shared. It's the value of community, and there are no two better communities. If you're only going to join two, join Scan Power and the Thrifting Board, and maybe Scanner Monkey once you kind of get rolling.
Somebody wants to know what the sunglasses website is again, please.
Logo Lenses, LOGOLE.
And someone likes these, so I'll put these back on for a minute here. Hello. Man, with this hat and these, I mean, I should be outside with a shotgun resting on my shoulder and like going, pull!
Dude, I dig it. Those are the ones, those are exclusive from our Wounded Warrior fundraiser last year. And speaking of fundraisers, we are 95% of the way there. We sell 5 more tickets to the Scan Power Conference, and there's only 4 days left. 4 days left. If you guys want to come to the Scan Power Conference in Orlando, March 21st and 22nd, you guys need to hop on that fundraiser. The link will be posted in the Facebook groups later today, maybe after the show.
And why do they have to hop on that fundraiser, Chris?
And what?
And why do they have to hop on that fundraiser?
I'm not going to flash because I'm not shaving my chest. You're shaving your chest, but only if we get to 100K. Only if we get to 100K.
Let's not shave, brother.
Oh, wax. Oh, did I say shave?
Yeah,
no.
I'll go shave right now. What the hell?
Dude, shaving's easy. Wax in the chest.
Right now. But the important thing, obviously, is we're raising money for Wounded Warrior. But, hey, the goal was $100,000. We are 5% away. And, you can just donate. You don't have to go to the conference, but the conference is awesome. Speaking of, I should probably book an airplane ticket, huh?
Yeah, man, get there.
Am I involved? Am I part of it?
You'll be speaking at some point, but I mean, I had a lot of people ask, like, what's the details on the conference? Who's speaking? And the Scan Power Conference, you've been to all of them at this point. They're different, right? It's not sit in a chair, take some notes. We're going to talk at you. We're going to tell you what we think you need to know. There's a lot more networking. We like to keep things all included, so your lunch, your dinner, your drinks are all included. It's much more laid back, a lot of networking. We get the right people there. I mean, the people that are willing to donate $1,000 and book their travel to come to Orlando, they're serious, right? You're not going to get, I'm like thinking of opening an Amazon account. And I mean, we like those people. We got mad love for people starting out. But if you're like a $3 million seller and you're looking to, double your business and you just need to find another seller to network with, you're going to find that type of person at the Scan Power Conference. Businesses, partnerships have been formed, created at the Scan Power Conference. And to be honest, I don't know how many more we're going to do because there's a lot of work to put together. And I don't know. This might be the last one. This might be the last Scan Power Conference. So get there. Take advantage of it.
Look, and this has nothing to do with the Scan Power Conference per se, but here's a prime example. So my last assistant Here's my current assistant working hard on a dress.
Yawning.
My last assistant worked for me and needed to make more money than working for me, and I totally understood that. So she struck out on her own and went from thrifting and eBay to FBA and Amazon, and said, I need help. And I said, all right, cool. So I reached out to my boys, Chris being one of them, Dwayne being one of them, and said, hey, will you, like the mafia, I'm calling in a favor. This is good people. Can you do me a favor and help her out? And everyone said, absolutely. And so she went from like, I don't know what I'm doing, to killing it, teaching others. And she has formed partnerships just through the networking of being my friend and being Chris's friend and being Dwayne's friend. And so she has partnerships with people who don't live anywhere near us, but they share leads back and forth. They do deals together. And she tells me how great it's working out. And she's paying the bill. She's making money. And that's the kind of thing that happens at the conferences too. You know, it doesn't just happen online. And I find it's easier, obviously, if we're all standing together over a cocktail or dinner and like, hey, oh, you live there and you have access to that. I live here and got access to this. Let's do some work together. And that's the reason those conferences are a good thing to attend. And plus, if I'm around, you know there's going to be fun. There's just no two ways about that. And I will tell you, I am leading the charge this year for the first night dinner. Last year, that was horrible. I can't remember whose idea that was, but you failed, and we were
Where'd
in.
y'all go?
You were there.
The first night dinner?
Yeah, where we went to the all-you-can-eat lobster place.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. Look, dude, we're in Orlando. There's like so many great restaurants and fun restaurants. I mean, not even so much like 5-star, but you know, it's the king of interactive, fun, crazy restaurants. You know, kind of like a Rainforest Cafe, or you know, the Knights jousting tournament kind of thing. We ended up in a strip mall and it had a mediocre dinner with crummy service.
I can't take responsibility for that.
No, it wasn't you. You know, it's like coming to Vegas and me setting up a dinner at like Sweet Tomatoes. Like, no, we're not. You know, I like Sweet Tomatoes, but no, we're in a city that has great places to eat. Let's go one of those places. And we don't have to all go together, but a lot of us did. And I had not researched. I'm like, oh, somebody picked dinner? Cool, let's go. And then I'm like, oh, why are we here? and as we were driving by fun places, like interactive dinner places. So I'm like, we are picking something better for this year. So I'm in charge, damn it.
I think you just put yourself in charge. You volunteered yourself for dinner number one. Dinner number two will be it'll be pretty high end. It's all included at the hotel. So one of the reasons I'm going back to this hotel is because the food was so good. Everybody loved it. It was on site, so everybody can just go and have a good time. It was nice. So look for that.
Somebody wants a dinner place that has nice rum drinks. Trust me, if I'm in charge, that'll be for sure.
No doubt about it. Yeah, we got to do the tiki. I think I'm actually leaving on the last day, like late. So let's do the tiki bar the first night.
Well, I mean, we can definitely do it, but you know, it's definitely not for full dinner, and that whole property.
We'll do dinner, and then we'll do tiki bar.
Yeah, we'll find something on the way there. Yeah, I'll definitely set it all up. We'll have a good time. We'll have a party.
Yeah, and, Dale's going to be there. All right, Dale over here, he's coming in the chat room. He's going to be there. So, yeah, it's going to be sweet. But all right, guys, we started the show off talking about doing a little research to figure out what to sell, whether you're creating a product like private label or just straight OEM, you're making something fresh and new you're going to sell, or you're looking stuff up on the eBay app. You want to see if there's something you want to sell that you found at a store. A lot of people use a piece of data called what most people call the Amazon Sales Rank. You might see it referred to online as BSR, stands for Best Sellers Rank. Whatever you call it, it's important to know what this is and what it means, because if you know what it means, it's easily one of the most valuable pieces of information if you are buying and selling products, especially retail or online arbitrage products or creating private label products, because it can gauge sales history, so you can know how many of an item are selling, so you know how invested you want to get in that product or how quickly you're going to be able to sell 100 units of something.
Hey, Chris,
there's a lot of bad info
there for a second.
Yeah, go.
I really hate to interrupt anybody's flow, but the internet works in tiny, mysterious circles. Like you talk about something, then 2 seconds later it sells. Just as you started that speech, I got a message through eBay, someone who loves the show Thrift Hunters for Holland and has an idea for a business plan for me and them, I might be interested. We were just talking about, finding ways to create. I'm like, how weird that second it came through. Isn't that nuts?
Man.
Isn't that nuts? You put it out to the universe, and who knows if this is going to be a good idea, but holy shit, we just talked about that. And there it is. Boom. All right, I'm sorry. I didn't mean over your flow, but it was so timely. It was nutty.
Dude, that's how things happen, right?
This might be the best deal I've ever had in my life, too. Who knows? I'm sorry, dude. So go ahead. Yeah, we're talking about research and figuring out what to buy and what to pass.
All right, we're going to get into bestsellers rank. Michelle's got a question here. Why did Amazon take away the OZ box when
ounce? I'm guessing
the ounce box when it has to send small items to another state. It weighs 2 ounces. You are charged for 1 pound. I don't know. What are you selling where the total package weight is only 2 ounces? It might be.
Are you merchant fulfilled? Because I shipped three CDs today. They're only 4 ounces each.
It also could be a case of Amazon. If Amazon's product page says this product weighs 4 pounds,
which could be wrong, and it has been wrong.
Yeah, maybe they're not going to let you ship that for 2 ounces.
Oh, so she's FBA-ing. So are you FBA-ing one item at a time that weighs 2 ounces? I mean, are you sending in one item at a time that weighs 2 ounces? Because to me that seems...
No, Michelle, if you're talking about preparing FBA shipments, then it's going UPS, and they only deal in pounds.
There it is.
Yeah, there's no sense in putting in 3 pounds, 7 ounces. It's 4 pounds. They're going to bill you 4 pounds. It doesn't matter. Everything is rounded up with UPS. They only do pounds. There's no ounces. Maybe that's what you're seeing. All right, so Jason, you got some examples of bestsellers rank. Yeah, Michelle, even if you're sending 1 2-ounce dog leash going UPS, that's 1 pound. That's why there's no option for that. Bestsellers rank will give you, and this is a snapshot in time. All right, so this is not a number that says this item sells this many. Per month, unless you have the data every single month that you've been tracking. So if you're looking at a new item, seeing bestsellers rank, that's going to give you an indication of how recently it has sold. Now, there's going to be, I'd say, kind of 3 kind of groups that you're going to be looking at. The one right in the middle is one that sells once a day, right? So you need to understand what a sales rank should be in your category for an item that sells once per day. Anything higher than that, higher meaning like if it's 70,000 in books, which is where a book will usually go, 70 to 100,000 with 1 sale. Anything higher than that, meaning 200,000, 400,000, a million, means it's been more than 1 day since it's sold, more than 24 hours. Anything lower, right, 50,000, 40, 10,000, that means it has sold multiple times in the past 24 hours. Now, it's kind of a sliding scale, and the best sellers sell a ton, and it drops off, right? So if we're looking at a graph, right? I'm trying to do this backwards, so bear with me. If you got stuff way up here that's selling a ton, it's not a straight line down where this stuff sells a little bit and this stuff doesn't sell very much. It drops, and then it goes off in what's called the long tail. This long tail is going to go on and on with all the selection. So the top 1,000 items in most categories are selling a ton. The top 100 are selling an absolute insane amount of products. The top 10, crazy amounts, hundreds and hundreds an hour for the top 10 products in categories. But then it drops way, way off. So if you can kind of get those baseline numbers for the categories that you sell in, you can make an educated decision and say, okay, this only sells, by my best estimate, twice a day. So you're not going to go invest in 1,000 units, right? Why would anybody buy 500 days supply, right? Unless it's a closeout and you're getting a great price. I mean, I guess there are times for it. But if you got to decide how many to buy, or a one-off because you pick something up at a garage sale or a thrift store, then you got to say, okay, how soon do I expect this to sell? Looking at the market prices, it hasn't sold in 6 weeks, but I can look at historical graphing information on Camel or Keepa, If you're not familiar with those sites, please join our groups. There's discussions about those. And you can go back and see, okay, this item sells 3 times every 6 months. It doesn't sell a ton, but if you're only buying 1 unit, you got a sweet deal on it. You buy some for $5, you sell for 300. Yeah, you'll buy that and hold it for 6 weeks. No big deal. So there's a lot of nuances to sales rank that we can get into about reasons why an item would have a high sales rank, even though it's an item that you should be buying to sell. And Jason, I think you have an example of something you sold just recently.
Yeah, here's what we're talking about. So let's back up a little bit. I'm standing in my grocery store about 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, and there's all these closeouts. And it's mostly Christmas stuff, but there's one closeout that's a summertime item. So they must have had them left over from last summer, but not wanting to carry it for this summer. And I use my handy-dandy ScanPower app, and it comes up in the toy category, ranks about 3012, and it was $250, and it was popping off for like $10. So I called Cheryl, because now the teacher has become the student, because even though I understand it, she's in it all day, every day, and I'm not. So I'm like, hey, what do you think of this purchase? And she goes, let me look at a couple of other tools I use. And she goes, yeah, that's a great purchase. You're going to make profit. I think she told me like $5 maybe per item, but I'm timesing it by 80. It's a very lightweight item, easy to ship. And she goes, but if you wait for summer, this product will probably be way hotter, because it is definitely a summertime thing. So wait a couple months if you got the space to sit on it, and you'll maybe make like $6 or $7 a product. I'm like, oh, I'll absolutely wait for $2 more a product times 80. Hell yeah. So I understand rank, not as deep as Chris just showed us with the graph and the tail, but I get it. If I'm looking at a toy and there's 80 of them and the rank is 200,000, I'm like, no way. But if it's 3,000 and it's a summertime item and we're in the dead of winter, yeah, I get it. So I wanted to bring this up today because I've been out thrifting, which is typically a eBay-based way to gather product. But not 100%, but definitely, with an Amazon person who does a little thrifting, a little eBay, and I watched them pass up a CD, and because all they were doing was scanning, using ScanPower stuff, and the rankings were bad, and I saw them pass an awesomely rare out-of-print CD, and I said, why'd you pass that? And she said, well, look, this ranking's horrible. And I said, well, here's the problem when you become an Amazon FBAer. You get so fixated on being a robot in numbers, you don't ever pause to think, because in the world of CDs, rare means they don't show up as often or get sold as awesome. So as Chris explained, the rank's going to be horrible, because if it sells 1 a day, it's like sitting nice in here. If it sells 1,000 a day, it's way up here. If it sells 1 a month, 1 a year, man, it's way down over here. But being rare means that it's not readily available. And so if you get so robotic, you just look at rank and numbers and you just keep on going, you never pause and went, oh, crap, I just left $100 on the table. All right, so here's some examples. I'm going to do a little screen share, which you don't normally do on our show, Chris and I, but I'm going to do it today so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. So let's get the screen share going here.
You guys, when you're looking for bestsellers rank, you're going to be looking down in the product details on an Amazon page, unless you're using an app like ScanPower. We're going to show you right at the top when you scan a barcode.
All right, so this CD, Leader of the Pack, it was a cast recording of a Broadway musical that did not last long. So things like that are become rare, because if it's Cats was on Broadway for what, 1,000 years maybe 1,200 years, I don't know. Cats was on Broadway for like 30 years or something. And so their soundtrack, their normal soundtrack, is not going to be an expensive high-end one, because of, they were on Broadway for so long and they sold that. So, but this was on Broadway for a short time. And I picked it up for $3, and I sold it for $66 this past weekend, and it was up there for about 7 months. But look at the rank. The rank is 100,447. Would you ever, if you were just looking at numbers, would you ever stop and buy this item?
Dude, I mean, I know a little better, so I mean that's not that bad.
Right.
I mean,
let's think about it from somebody who's new to scanning and getting into this, and they're just looking at numbers. They'd be like, no way. All right, so that's one example.
Hold on, let's stay on that.
Okay.
All right, so I'm pulling up that same listing because I noticed you don't have your Keepograph installed, and I do.
No, I don't. All right.
So I'm looking at the sales rank history, which Keepa started adding, I want to say last February, so we're coming up on a year's worth of data, I believe. And I can see by the behavior of this graph that in October it was about 250,000, getting higher and higher and higher as it doesn't sell. Okay, so imagine that graph kind of dipping down. And then I can prove to you that it sold on Wednesday, November 11th, and that sales rank jumped to 45,000 in music, and then it went down as it didn't sell until magically on November 25th it sold, and it shot all the way up to 18,000. Right, so this isn't a perfect science. Could it represent two sales in there? I kind of doubt it just because of the product, but it definitely sold. Sales rank dipped down again. It jumped to 122,000 on December 18th. It jumped again December 28th, and it jumped again January 9th. No, January 8th. I'm sorry. So in 3 months, it has sold, in my estimation, which I would put 99% sure on this, 5 times. 5 times in 3 months. That is the sales velocity of this product. Take into account that we just went through fourth quarter, right? So 3 of those sales were before Christmas, 2 of them were after. So that might have a little something to do with it. But given that information, this item sells consistently. Now it's considered, I would consider a little bit long tail, meaning it's not going to sell right away, even if you drop the price on it. There's no reason to undercut the lowest price on this. You know, it sells. I can also see the sales history. And it was consistent. Used were about 66, 67. And it's been 89 ever since. So I would list it at 89. If you want it, you know, if it didn't sell in 2 months, I'd consider dropping it to the $70 range. That's just what I would do, my strategy. But to leave it behind, because I'm guessing this was what, $4 or something?
$3.
3 is nuts, absolutely nuts. You throw it in with another shipment you're sending in, and you're done. Now look at the new versus used. I mean, that's typical, though I have seen often where new is cheaper than used because the used sellers are simply not paying attention.
And I will tell you, in the world of CDs, for sure. Now, do not apply this to all other forms of stuff we sell on Amazon. But in the world of CDs, that little bit of cellophane does ridiculously add amounts of money that's insane, because you could get this in like new condition from me, what somebody did, for $66. And it was fresh. I mean, it had been maybe played once or twice. But, man, I find one sealed, I would definitely sell it for $150, and you get it. It is nutty. You get a minimum of 20% more for being sealed than being mint fresh, just opened. 20% at minimum, and people will pay. I've proven that for 17 years of selling on both Amazon and eBay of CDs. But this is just a good example. But, you know, and somebody said in the chat they sell high-ranking CDs all the time. Yeah, some of us know. But I watch people who are getting into this, and they get a little too robotic, and they just see numbers and skim on by. And I just happened to have a discussion with somebody this past weekend about that. And they said, I passed that CD because of the high rank. And I'm like, no, I bought that CD because of the high rank, because I know it was rare. It's out of print. When you see this kind of price for a CD in 2016, that's because it's rare.
Yeah, you got people who want to collect, so they want it in new condition. They want the cellophane on the outside. You know, from my point of view, if I'm looking for some rare music or something I can't get anywhere else, I'm not thrilled about used CDs. But if it's got a wrapper on it, I know the inside's new. I might be buying it to open it, right? And I don't have to mess with it. Well, maybe it's scratched, maybe it's worn. Now I got to mess with the return. No, there's some buyer kind of peace of mind that comes with being new, right? And you can command a premium for it.
Now, here's my next example. This is The Voices of Christmas by Walter Schumann. Now, look, I'm great at CDs. I am the master at Christmas. I actually do a road trip every year where I at least go to L.A., spend an entire weekend, buy every cool Christmas CD I can find at every record store. And some years I actually go up to San Francisco and do like this whole 5-6 day thing where I am combing like, I don't know, 20 stores between the two major cities, and I'll buy like 400 or 500 Christmas CDs and flip them all for great profit. I'll make enough that I'll not only cover the trip put a few bucks in my pocket, and then during the evenings, I spend my nights hanging out at tiki bars with friends. So it's a great little 5-day road trip. And so I've been doing this for years and years and years. I rolled across this one for $4, and I didn't research at the time for two reasons. It was only $4. It's on a good label that brings back old music, but I'd never seen it. And man, for me, never seen a Christmas CD after all these years, and I have touched hundreds of thousands because I go through the racks. I mean, at Amoeba Records in LA alone, they probably have 70,000 used CDs because they have this huge budget section on just Christmas. And so when I bought this for $4 or $3, I was like, cool. And I sold it for within a week for $100. Now its rank is 196,000 in music. And why it's ranked in rock, I have no idea. It's an easy listening Christmas CD. That's kind of weird. But you want to do your little magic on this? What do you need to see?
Oh, dude, I'm looking at this. I mean, this is kind of crazy. This is why people need to understand the Keepa data, the Keepa graph, because I'm looking back at this, and I'm not going to go, super in depth on the way we did the last time, but the graph of the last 3 months shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sales in 3 months, with the low. This is pretty cut and dry. The first one sold for $80 used. The next one, it's either $220 used or $250 new. It's either $99 used or $250 new, and then $150 used, $150 used, and this is what I love about it. Someone listed this for $11.99 used.
Ah, damn it.
This is a super lesson. Like, you guys who watch this show, you guys get the real lessons here. You guys can install the Keepa graph, and you guys can set up price watches on this, and when that hits anything under 30, you'll get a tweet or an email.
Oh, I got to do that today.
And buy it up. So used, it was $11.99, and it was actually there for almost 3 days. Almost 3 days it sat there for $11.99. And it sold. You can see the price rank jumped, and then the lowest. This is why I'm sure that was the one that sold. The lowest used offer at that point, moving forward, went back to $150. Now, if I back it up past 3 months, the graph gets really tight, so it's kind of hard to see. But this is crazy town. You are not going to believe this. This sales rank spiked to 9,000. This was a top 9,000 CD on Friday, July 24th.
Of course.
Of course, it's Christmas.
Christmas in July, baby.
And this is because someone came in and listed this $11.98 new. And it looks like it stayed there for a while. So then maybe they had 3, 4, 5 copies. I don't know how many copies I have to sell in music to get to 9,000. But they had multiple copies. And they sold them. And it wasn't Amazon. It wasn't Amazon that was selling this for $11.98. But someone came in, sold a bunch of them, and people snatched them up. And then it did not sell again from July all the way until October 28th. This is some sick data. I mean, like, Are people realizing what we're showing now? The data that we have.
I just realized I outed one of my
free
this year. So everyone, ignore this. Please ignore. You're getting sleepy. You've forgotten all about Walter Schuster, whatever his name is. Now, I want to point out two things. Chris and I always freely give away all our info. This CD came out only in 2007. It was only 8 years old at Christmas.
Amazon was selling this themselves in 2011. That is also on the Keepa graph. 2011, Amazon themselves were selling over $12 a piece.
So the point of telling you that is we're in 2016. We're at the age of you can download anything, you can rip and steal anything offline. This CD came out only in 2007, and already it's this rare and worth this much money. So keep that in mind. People say, CDs are dead. No, they're not. You just got to know where to look. Now, another tip is Collector's Choice Music puts out these old stuff that was never on CD. Not everything on Collector's Choice is worth $100, but if you happen to see a Collector's Choice in the racks at a CD store or a thrift store and it's used, give it a quick scan. Take a look at it. But also, my tip is it's $4. I know my Christmas music, so if you know your niche and something's too cheap to be true, just grab it. Don't waste your time staying in the store researching it. You got a sweet deal. And look, based on what Chris told me, I could have held out for 150, but I was excited to take $400, flip it for 100. And there is usually a crest of Christmas music where it hits its highest peak right around the week before Christmas, give or take. So I was happy. I could have held out for more, but I was happy with my return. All right, ready for the big one, the big dog.
I think we need to give one more bonus tip for the
okay.
people, the cool people here who listen to us live, and we got love for our replay listeners as well. But guys, think ahead, right? We have now just found the Voices of Christmas. Walter Schumann, who I'm guessing 100% of you have never heard of, unless you like watch other shows. All right, so Jay, since they're watching your screen, why don't you just scroll down a little bit? Scroll down just a little bit. Oh, stop right there. Oh my goodness, another Voices of Walter Schumann CD for $211. Another one with a suppressed buy box, and one for $19. What's up with that? I don't know. But I can click on them and see if there's some bolos I need to be looking for when I go to the CD store or the thrift store or buy CD collections at garage sales. Like, this isn't hard, you guys. This is so easy. Look, click on that 211. What's up with that? I bet you're all going to be looking for this one now. Was this an LP?
Yeah.
Oh, new condition only on this one.
Well, there's a used for 2 used, 20 and 33.58, and then the new one, 2 new, 211 and 389.
All right, now what I'm thinking of right now is, man, I might buy up that $19 one, make it FBA, and send it back in for $70. Right? There's no FBA offer here. So anybody that wants this FBA style, nope, sorry, not going to happen. You have to wait. Dude, that should actually be a whole business. Buying vinyl. Yeah. I bet hardly anybody has sent vinyl to FBA.
Well, matter of fact, I'm getting ready to ship a whole load to FBA. So I'm trying something new. New for me. I mean, obviously shipping vinyl isn't new, but I had some stuff laying around here that just wasn't doing it well on eBay, and I'm like, I am going to send this all to Amazon and give it a whirl.
There's the FBA boost that I call, where if there's no FBA, and I'm only buying FBA offers. I will pay a premium. Sometimes I pay a ridiculous premium. If I wanted a video game, I wanted a karaoke video game for a weekend when my sisters-in-law were coming to town, and the only way I could get it was to pay a $30 premium to an FBA seller. And you know what? I didn't like it, but I paid it. I was happy. I got what I wanted. I had to pay a little premium for it. Not that I didn't like the price. I was mad at myself that I didn't order from someone else in time to get it, but I was still thankful that there was a way that I could get it in time for the weekend so that we could all play it, and it was worth it. I still got it. I don't have to return it, right? Vinyl to FBA is, oh man, that's a genius idea.
All right, now we're going to the big dog. Here is a special version of the score to the movie Blade Runner, starring Harrison Ford, with the music by Vangelis, who is world famous for the Chariots of Fire soundtrack score. And this is a limited edition. And look at the rank: 861,000. 947. Now,
dude, Keepa wasn't even tracking this item. It's so few.
Right. Now, this is always been my prime example because, okay, Chris is using his fancy graphs and he's got nothing. The rank shows you you should run away from this item fast, based on if you're just being robotic and thinking about long tail and numbers. Not only did I buy the CD, I gave a store $50 for the CD. So the rank is nearing 1 million. And I was ballsy enough to give a store $50 for this, and I turned it in 4 weeks for $250.
On eBay or Amazon?
On Amazon. This was years ago, Chris. Probably 3, 4. After I sold it for $250, I even thought, I think I shortchanged myself. This might have been a $400 CD. So let that sink in to everybody listening to us live when you watch the replay. And so let's say 4 years ago. So let's say 2012. In 2012, somebody paid me $250 for a CD and I probably could have got maybe 400. And here's why. People like to collect. They like things that are limited edition. This was only produced in an edition of 2000. And I so don't even care what was so rare about this. I saw that it was for $50. At the time, I think someone had a new one on Amazon, maybe for 400. And I instantly knew, like, oh, shit, I can turn this to 250. I did not waste any time researching what was rare about this version compared to the normal versions, other than they only made 2,000 of this version. Good, done. Because here's the other thing. I'm probably not going to roll across too many of these, being how there's only 2,000 in the world. But I rolled across one of them. I spent my $50. I turned it. I sold it for $250. I always remember that if I ever see this version, to quickly grab it. But I don't need to do any more research than that. And I had the cojones to spend $50, which I see that's another thing I want to really impress on people. I see people who all want the dollar deal. I get that. So do I. I wish everything I bought was $1. But who of us would walk past $200 bills laying on the floor and not pick them up? Nobody would. I just had to work for those $200 bills a little bit, but I did, and it worked.
All right, dude, I think we should get into I'm looking at this listing. This is a great example that might cause some people some confusion. They're like, should I buy it? I mean, there's some unknowns. What's caused this item to have a high sales rank? And there are potential red flags. You can't just look at, you can't look at just that product page and be like, I have every piece of information I need to make a decision if you don't have some kind of CD and movie and pop culture knowledge, right? And I know there's a lot of you guys listening who don't have the same CD and pop culture knowledge that Jason does. And if you saw that CD, you might be like, oh, I'm going to start buying every CD that I find that has 800,000 rank and it's $50.
That's not what we're telling you.
No.
Hang on.
Back it up. Back it way up. Because, Jason didn't pull up the eBay app. Right, but if you find something like that, grab it. Put it in your cart. Don't leave it there unless someone else comes snatch it from you, and look it up on eBay as well. See if there's any eBay listings for the product. Now, what I like about that product, and this, I have a little knowledge of Blade Runner, so I'm like, okay, Blade Runner, rare. Okay, I already know there's a customer base for rare Blade Runner stuff. Any stuff. It could be an 8-track where no one actually wants it to use it. They just want to collect it. So it's got a collectability factor. But the red flags that might come up on an item like that you want to look for is well, maybe this pulled the wrong listing. If you scan with Scan Power, if you find it on the Amazon app, maybe you pulled a duplicate listing. Maybe there's another listing for that exact same item that has a much better sales rank, that has penny versions of the CD, right? Maybe it's common, but you just found this listing that some other seller made, and some of you guys do it. No, not you guys, because you guys are smart for listening to the show, but there are sellers out there who will, I don't want to list on that page. Look at all the competition. I'm going to make a new page for the exact same product and charge more for it, hoping that someone finds it. That is a terrible idea. Do not do that at all. But it doesn't stop people from doing that. So sometimes there's a duplicate listing. It doesn't sell because it's overpriced, right? And you just stumbled onto the wrong listing. If there's no duplicate listing and you found the actual product page, what have I got? I got 4 reasons right here why an item can have a product page and not sell. The first being there's no offers, right? And look at it right now. That sales rank is going to keep going up. There's no offers.
Yep.
It can't be purchased, right? It's not the product page's fault. It's not the product's fault. That sales rank is going to keep going up and get worse, quote unquote worse, until it's listed and sold again. Now, even if it's listed by a seller, maybe when you guys find this, and you price it at $4,000, that sales rank's still going to go up and up and up, because it might be the only one in the world. But if the market will not bear your $4,000 price, despite how many diehard Blade Runner fans there are out there, then no, it's not going to sell, and it's going to sit there. The market will bear what it will bear, and it bared $400 or whatever the last time that it sold. So if you find a listing with a really high sales rank, and maybe all the offers are way overpriced, maybe there's a bunch of $600 copies of a CD that one seller, pie in the sky, put $600 on because he was the only seller. And then 2 other sellers came in and said, oh, this is a $600 CD. So they both match price at $600. And you see 3 sellers at $600 on a million rank CD, and you're like, wow, this is a $600 CD. Nope. it's a $100 CD because that's what the market will bear. And I've seen this firsthand. I found a book. It was about sales copy, and I actually wanted to read it before I sold it. So I put a pie in the sky price on Amazon of $274.95. I picked that price out of nowhere, and then someone else found that book and hopped on the listing and undercut me by $1, $273.95. And I'm like, guy, you know this is like a nothing book. I just really didn't want to. This was like still merchant fulfilled days, so I just didn't want to sell it. But if it's sold for $275, then sure, I'll find another one later. So you guys have to be realistic. You have to understand the market price versus the list price. The other one, maybe the listing looks like crap, which this listing does kind of look like crap. It's got a low resolution image, unzoomable, not a lot of product details. So stuff like that's going to lead to fewer conversions, even when there is a competitively priced listing. People are going to come in and be like, is this really what I'm getting? Is that a CD? Is that really the cover art? So you might find something like this and say, you know what? I think this is a great product. It's got a lot of potential because of the brand, because of the customer base, and say, I'm going to clean up this listing. And I would recommend this more when you're buying multiples. If you've got, you're going to buy 80 of something versus one CD, maybe you don't want to put the time into a one CD listing. But clean up that listing, and all of a sudden you're going to get more results in Amazon search, leading to more conversions, leading to that bestseller rank going up because of actual sales. These are the things that happen, and I know we're giving you guys a lot of information about bestsellers rank at one time, but once you figure this out, then you really remove about 99% of the risk in buying a product.
Yeah, and Rob in our chat brought up a good point. He said, "Are CDs over $25 not under the same restrictions as DVDs?" I always thought it was. Nope. I sell $100 CDs all the time. Here's a prime example. So we'll go back to what we're talking about, and I'll give you one more tip on how to read this if you're new to scanning. Because don't forget, just because you're scanning doesn't mean if you don't want to sell on Amazon, that's fine. But I always use my Amazon app to just quick see what the lowest used or new price is on any item that I'm looking at, and if it's in the kind of a range I like, then I'll just grab it and I'll figure out where I'm selling it later. But this why does it look so big? This Star Wars soundtrack, as you can see, it is used. It says to used at $41.47. So I actually paid 19.
Command minus.
It's weird. I don't know why it's. Oops, wrong screen. Why all suddenly it's so. Let me pop on that and pop back into it. I don't know why it's so weird all of a sudden. But so to use $41.47, and if I don't know why. There we go. So I paid $19 for this, but I clicked on the used to see what the condition was, because the one I bought was in new minty fresh condition, and as you can see, acceptable is $44.47, good is $44.47, and I had a mint one, so I threw it for $100, and of course, obviously, it's Star Wars time right now, and it sold for $100 very quickly. So, and the ranking on this one was 119,000 in music, 1,916 in movie scores, and 2,757 in movie soundtracks. That does not mean every Star Wars soundtrack is worth something. I knew this one was. There are others out there. So once you start to do, once you start to learn, something, you're like, okay, I'm always, me personally, I always go to the Star Wars section because I know the Star Wars soundtracks that are out of print or worth a lot more than the normal versions, so I go hunt for them when I go to the CD stores. But just to demonstrate what Rob was asking, I sold a $100 CD very easily. So yes, the restrictions on CDs are not the same as DVDs. Don't even get me started on that.
No, the sales rank on that thing's just hopping, man. It's selling all kinds.
Yeah. So if you find it, you're great. There was they released, I can't remember the year, but probably late 90s. They released 2-disc versions of all 3 of the good movies, Star Wars, Empire, and Return. And there was holograms. They came in. It was like a hard booklet instead of a plastic jewel case, and there was a hologram on each of the CDs. So I think the Star Wars one, the CD looked like the Death Star. So it was very cool stuff. They only did a limited run of those. So if you run across those are decent money. But yeah, so
pay attention to pop culture, guys.
Yep, and that's what I want to talk about rank. I hate when I see people get robotic and they don't pause to think. Now, of course, if you're not into pop culture or into CDs, pausing to think might not be as easy as it is for me because that's my niche. But, you know, don't just fly by it. And you can't stop and look up everything, but here's some prime examples of there's money to be made. And the other caution is people always see me talk about CDs. So here we're talking about it live on the show. I posted in my group. They go to the thrift store hoping to find these gems. Now, look, a thrift store is a crapshoot. You never know what's going to be there. But take what I've taught you and go to a CD store. Go to the soundtrack section. Go to the S. Look at Star Wars. Because granted, they'll be priced somewhat accordingly, but not most CD stores blow it along the lines on some stuff. And that's what I love. That's why I like doing what I do. That's the treasure hunt. Okay, Amoeba Records, they know what they're doing, but they blow it on some items, and I love finding those items they messed up on. Or they're good with getting $50. I'm better with getting $250.
Well, remember, they are relying on their foot traffic. If they're not selling online, they have to count on that buyer, the $250 buyer, to come in their store. If it only sells 5 times every 3 months, they have to bet one of those 5 people in the world in 3 months is coming to their store. Those 5 people could all live in Russia for all we know. They're not coming in the store. So they have to bear the market. The market for the people that come in their store, for the products they have in their store, will only bear what it will bear. And if it's $50 for that CD, then that's what it is. They take the sale because they're happy, or they list online if they want to. But if you want access to all the customers in the world, guess what? Oftentimes you can command a higher price. And it does flip. Sometimes you can command a higher price in store because people need something today. I need to fix my toilet today. I will pay more for the part from Home Depot than I could get it from Amazon and wait 2 days and not have a toilet for 2 days. So it goes both ways. But what's the static factor in there? The market. We're all at the mercy of the market. We cannot manipulate the market. We cannot get more for our products than they are worth. And you certainly could get less if you don't take good pictures and good titles. But the market is what it is. It does not care about us, but we do get to play in the market. So enjoy your time playing in the market because you can make a lot of good money with it.
So All Things Collectible has a little question in the chat. I don't know why I said little, just a question. It's a tiny little question. That works going to a record store for vinyl too? Yeah, to a degree. So here is the joy. Hey, can you bring me a record? Just any one off the shelf over there. Thank you, sir.
I still got all your records here, homie.
Oh, yeah. So, here is the joy of doing this with CDs as opposed to records. Much easier to ship this than it is this. Because all that's involved in this is one of these, and you just slide it in, away it goes. Nothing else to do. On this, you need a little bit of bubble. You need a specialty mailer that aren't cheap, even if you buy in bulk. And so there's a little more work involved. But yeah, it'll work the same way. You could definitely go in there and find records, and I do from time to time. But I'll spend, there's the 2 main stores I go to when I get to LA every trip. I'll spend about an hour and a half of the first one coming to CD racks because it's a way tinier store. And then I'll spend like 3 to 5 hours at Amoeba. And just in those 5, 6, 7 hours alone, I'll pull out 100, 150 CDs. That'll make me a ton of money. And by that point, I'm exhausted. As much as I love it, 6 straight hours of CD shopping it's time for some rum cocktails, man.
Yeah, but we have the choice. We don't have to sit in front of sit in a cubicle from 8 to 5. We get lots of options. So it's hard work, but it's rewarding. And be your own boss is probably the most rewarding part out of all of this. So, man, we are coming to the top of the hour, man. We've given people a lot of information, guys. There's a lot more information about Sales Rank in my book. You can find it on Amazon. It's only $9.
What a segue! Speaking of books,
what, you wrote a book today?
No, but I am. If you are in the Vegas area and you hear this, I'm having a big garage sale this weekend with my friend Cheryl, who I talked about at the top of the hour. I'm an eBay seller. She's an Amazon seller. We are getting rid of our excess inventory, stuff we haven't had time to list. I got a lot of new sealed games and toys and puzzles. She has bought a bunch of stuff that she sent in, and it got damaged on the way in. Came back to her. I think that's the story. But brand new products in box, just damaged corners and stuff. So we are unloading. But guess what's in the way of my garage? A bunch of your books. So.
Oh, dude, sell my books at your garage sale.
Oh, I highly doubt that'll happen. But I will get a count to you this week, and we'll figure out something fun to do with them. So Speaking of your book, I got a bunch to sell or move or throw away or start a burn fire or something. I don't know. Something.
Don't just count them because I don't even know which version.
Well, yeah, I'll give you the full thing. But even though we're the top of the hour, I do want to share something. So last week I talked about a challenge. I talked about the EAE challenge: eBay, Amazon, and Etsy. Go buy something off of each platform and pay attention to the emails you get, the customer service you get, the product you get. You should know what your customers see as a buyer, and if you're not a buyer, you don't know. But also, it was to spur some economy. Try and buy from small sellers. On the Amazon one, don't buy from Amazon, buy from a third-party seller. I bought 3 tiki mugs. Shocking, and they came from all parts of the country. Shockingly, they all show up on the same day. Wow. 3 platforms, 3 from 3 different places. They were all shipped differently to me, but I wanted to show you real quick. This was from Amazon, and what was crazy is their listing was horrible. The picture was this way. They were on a red background. It's like everything you're not supposed to do on Amazon. But the mug is in great shape. It's a vintage tiki mug. My home tiki bar is called the Denizen. This is a devil. So I'm like, cool, I'll take this as my example from...
Is that merchant fulfilled from Amazon?
Yeah, merchant fulfilled. And she shipped this one. The person who shipped this one did the FOMO method. Now, FOMO, if you don't know, I'll give you a quick, brief description, but go look at my FOMO video on YouTube. You basically build a box around this and then ship it in a padded flat rate. So it goes anywhere in the country. If you get a discount for $5.35, if you don't get the discount, I think it's $5.70. But it's cheaper. It's cheaper than sending a 2-pound box. This one was FOMO'd in just a thin cardboard one.
Wow.
Made it just fine. So that was my Amazon purchase. This was my eBay purchase. This was a mug that was released in conjunction with a book that the guy who writes the book on Tiki, his name is Sven Kirsten, he writes all these books on Tiki. So his current one's called Tiki Pop, so they made a mug for it. And this one came on eBay, and they FOMO'd it in a padded flat rate, and it got here just fine. And then the one on Etsy were these 2 mugs from Harvey's, which is up in Lake Tahoe, from a lounge that does not exist anymore, the Timberwolf Lounge. Now, she lives, this seller lived up there near Tahoe, so lived in Reno, same state. She did this in a box with tons of padding. These 2 things weigh nothing. They weigh together not even a pound. Her package to me was 3 pounds. She was a little over the top. But because we were in the same state, the shipping wasn't bad. It was only like $6. Had that person had to ship like to Maine, they definitely went above and beyond, which I'm not complaining about a product getting here in great shape, but they definitely they did a little bit more than they had to. So it's crazy to see the 3 different things show up here, but they all show up the same day. I'm very happy with all 3 products. They were exactly as described, and I paid attention to all 3 emails I got as a buyer, so I know what my buyer sees, so they don't get confused. And a great example, this weekend, a customer bought an item, and there was 3 options for shipping. Until they got to the actual payment screen, they only saw the priority shipping, and they were like, I thought you said free first class. And I'm like, I did. You have to get to that next step. Now, if I don't ever be a buyer, I don't know that. And I think it's a little bit of a downfall on eBay's part. They could make that better, but I said, yes, just click buy. And when you get to the point where you're actually buying, then you have the 3 choices. Absolutely switch it over to free first class, and that's how I'll ship it to you. So buy something. If you haven't bought off of one of the platforms that you sell on or you might sell on, go buy something. And people are like, I don't have a lot of spare money right now. I definitely didn't say go buy something for fun like I did. Y'all need paper or shipping labels or something. Buy something you just need. Buy a business expense. But go buy it somewhere where you haven't done in a while, and just be familiar. Be familiar on behalf of your buyers, so when they ask you a question, it is easier for you to answer. All right, I'll get off my soapbox now. You're on mute.
I'm not surprised that Etsy won. The few things that I bought from Etsy recently all arrived way over the top, and I feel a little bad. I'm like, hey, thankful. Hey, they're here. Yeah. I feel bad the amount of effort they put in to the shipping and the packaging and the wrapping and the prep. I mean, it looks great, but I rip it open, I get my product, I throw it all in the trash.
Yeah.
I mean, the business cards, the stick. I mean, they put stickers in there, and I'm like, great. Well, I'm not gonna put your sticker on my door or on my computer. Like, thanks, but but I would encourage those Etsy sellers to keep doing it because I think a lot of Etsy buyers do have a little bit of that expectation. But I have no idea how Etsy trains their sellers to do that. I have no idea because all of them seem to do it.
And the great thing about the Etsy one, I don't know if I touched on it last week, but when I paid, because we were in the same state, she had her shipping set up for if she shipped to Maine, and as she was shipping it, she was like, "Oh, you overpaid shipping." She refunded me like $6.
Yeah.
I'm like, sweet. So
I mean, a lot of sellers.
if it was me,
I forget.
I was a happy buyer at all 3 platforms, and I'm glad I did that experiment. I got to see together 3 people who ship basically the same item 3 totally different ways. The middle one was great. The Etsy one was over the top good, and their one, it was fine, but spring for the bubble mailer. A, it looks a little better because it's bigger, and B, it gives you a little more protection than just a thin piece of cardboard.
And despite this example and this experiment, what am I going to do? I'm just going to buy from Amazon FBA pretty much every chance I get, unless I can't find them like the little radio necklace guy. I got a bunch of those guys off of Etsy, and I'm going Prime first, and I know I'm going to get something in a box, and it'll be here in 2 days. And the 2 days is the biggest factor for me, especially if I'm buying something new, right? I'm not looking for something used, collectible, hard to find. I know what the FBA experience is going to be like. So, Michelle's looking for your address for your garage sale.
Oh, my home address. I'm like, she wanted an address of a record store. Michelle, just hit me up on Facebook. Not that I'm not going to put it out on Craigslist later, but don't need to have my address. Actually, this will just disappear, right? Yeah, who cares?
Oh, the chat?
Yeah, the chat just goes away into the ether as soon as I hit end. So what's the big deal?
No, it's not like we're hard to find.
That's true. Yeah, just drive around Vegas, look for the tiki's buried in the front yard.
Pretty much.
Yeah, of course, I will be posting the garage sale in my group, and maybe even throw in Chris's in case anybody's around, because there are products that you can be sold. The things that Cheryl's unloading, they can't be sold as new anymore, but of course they could be sold as like new. And we were pricing it to clear out our garages. And as my wife was watching me yank stuff out of my storage unit that has sat there for far too long because I don't have enough hours in the day, she was like, "Yay, it's getting cleaned out."
Make it happen.
So come on by this Saturday, 8 a.m. in Henderson, Nevada, and I will post everywhere once the ad is up. And maybe we'll talk about that next week, Chris, because I find the key to a great garage sale of unloading your excess stuff is to stage it first, take good pictures, a great Craigslist ad, and garage sale signs that only have 2 things: a giant word "sale" and an arrow. And I can argue you just need the arrow. But people who write garage sale, the address, the dates, the times, that car's driving by about 40 miles an hour. Ain't gonna read all that. It will see a giant sale and an arrow. That's all you need.
I got around here, they don't even put the arrow on. And I'm like, I was like, pull over and put the address in my phone to find out where it is. I'm like, arrow, just the arrow, man, and big so I can see it. That's all I want is an arrow.
And yes, my mom asked if it's Saturday only. Yes, it's Saturday only. However, it is a holiday weekend. If we got a lot of stuff left over, I might pop it open for a couple hours on Sunday. I mean, I'll just sit outside and play on my iPad. If people come by and want to give me more money, I will take it happily.
Nice.
And so my wife, more crap out of the house and out of the storage.
Go.
All right, that was a full hour today. Hour and 3 minutes over.
Hour and 3 minutes, guys. The fastest hour in e-commerce. When you're doing eBay or Amazon, whether you're sourcing thrift or retail, it doesn't really matter. There's a ton of ways you can make money online these days, and we hope to help you do that, whatever you are looking to do. However, how big you want to get, how small you want to stay, it doesn't matter to us. Just come here, have a good time, learn something new. Hopefully we did not overwhelm you with the bestseller rank stuff. Don't worry, this same link will give you a replay if you want to watch any of it again. If you have more questions, come by the Scan Power group or the Thrifting Board Facebook group, and you can ask questions, and they will get answered either by us or by the awesome communities that are there. So, like, comment, subscribe. Find us here next week, 2:01 Eastern or 11:01 for all you West Coast. The co-host from the West Coast, We're signing off, homie.
Peace out. Keep on thrifting.